Bedtime story. When you want her lips, you get a cheek, makes you wonder where you are. If you want some more, but she's fast asleep, she's twinkling with the stars. Ooh la la, by the Faces. As patiently as possible, Carrie and Sam were waiting for their food outside. They were sitting under a tarp awning beneath a string of uncovered 60-watt bulbs, the brightest lights on the street. All the places to eat and drink were closed. Even the doors of the alley, grotto, and speakeasy themed bars were shut. It was past 4, and only the 24-hour diner remained open. Sam ordered wingdings, a euro, and pancakes. Carrie was only going to get a grilled cheese, but agreed to get fries if Sam would eat most of them. Carrie tried to bite her own lip, then said, "I'm going to ask her for some ice." "The Ice Queen," Sam said, glancing at the waitress. "She'd pull an icicle from her bootstrap and apply it to the wound herself," he added, touching above his left eye. "What happened? Are you sure you're okay?" "Yeah, I'm alright. I'll tell you later, I promise. Let me eat something first." 2 moths flew frantically around the light bulb overhanging the table. A Cadillac painted a neon yellow, gray, and black camo pattern cut the silent night with bumping bass and a screaming engine. The car roared downhill, buzzed by their table, then screeched its tires hanging left. Sam laughed, and Carrie asked, "What were you thinking about just then?" "I was wondering who drives that car." "No, before. You did that thing where you look like you're somewhere else. You should really ice that, it's starting to swell." "It's already swollen. I iced it a bit already." "How long? And what were you thinking about?" Sam shrugged. "A few minutes." He thought back to what had occupied his mind. "I was thinking about something that happened at my other job, earlier in the week, in relation to something I read earlier that day. I recall mentioning the book." "That's why you were upset?" Sam nodded. "What happened at work?" Sam made a harsh expression and ejected a chuckle. "This is upsetting," he warned. "Sam, you know where I work. I'm around sick babies." Sam nodded that he knew, while noting to himself that there was a subtle difference between the tragedy of unwell infants witnessed by nurses at neonatal intensive care units and the envy he had bore witness to. The restaurant was slow, and I was folding napkins in the back. The waitresses were coming in and out, gossiping. I kept quiet, Sam chuckled, like a fly on the wall. One of the waitresses, she's younger, early 20s. She's tall and skinny, pale natural blonde. I think she used to dance ballet. Anyway, she was complaining to 2 of the older waitresses that she hadn't had sex in over a week. I was standing with my back turned to the rest of the service station, but over my shoulder I glimpsed this look. The 2 older waitresses, I think both are single mothers from what I understand, looked at each other in a particular tone of voice, as my uncle would say. Before work that day I was reading the book I was telling you about that night, The Gulag Archipelago. Solzhenitsyn describes how the women who weren't claimed by a camp guard or a ruling gang member would, I don't know what to call it, they'd adopt these dominatrix roles and sexually abuse, beat, attractive female zeks. When I saw the look those 2 waitresses shared after having read that, I felt something I'd been missing from my perspective click into place. Also, I was glad all the steak knives are kept in the kitchen. Carrie looked at Sam like he was a puzzle, one with a piece that had gone inexplicably missing. The food arrived. While Sam had been talking, Carrie knotted some of her blonde hair in a dainty bun atop her head, letting the rest flow to her shoulders. Using a torn piece of wax from her fry basket to wad up her gum, Carrie, smiling brightly, asked the waitress, who wore a black cap and 2 full sleeves of fading tattoos, for some ketchup. The waitress turned away without a word. Sam shuddered as she allowed the door to slam behind her. Seconds later she blasted back outdoors and set the glass bottle of Heinz on the table with a thud. Okay, now will you go get some ice? Carrie called from the bathroom through a mouthful of toothpaste. It's fine. I'm going to have a shiner either way. Besides, I'm perfectly comfortable. Aren't you glad I woke you up? Returning to her bedroom, moving to her nightstand, Carrie pursed her lips to apply cherry-flavored balm and nodded. She left the bar early, heading back to Sam's to rest until Sam returned from work. Leaving the bar, she had told Sam to wake her no matter what, but she nearly fell back asleep at the diner. All I needed was some food, Sam rambled on. I'm sorry I was or shall we say acidic? That's okay. But now you have to tell me, Sam, you must. What exactly happened to your eye? 1 second, sorry. Carrie had grabbed her phone from the nightstand and was scrolling. These sisters are so sneaky. They all liked my Instagram picture to guilt me into paying dues. Look. Carrie showed Sam a picture of her and her friend in their team jerseys from earlier that day. Conniving bitches, Sam said. Sorry, said Carrie, putting her phone down and climbing into bed. I know how much you hate those things. Please, what happened? Go on. I got hit in the face. How on earth did that happen? Tell me who's responsible. I'll go to where they sleep and smother them with a pillow. Carrie pecked Sam on the cheek. I'd do anything for you, she added. It's kind of a long story. That's okay, I'm not going anywhere, Carrie uttered in an exhausted voice that retained an inspirational tone due to a purring that rounded out the last word. What a combination of flavors. Sam kissed Carrie's lips and then her neck. The tzatziki from the gyro left the faintest bite of garlic on his tongue. They both lay in her bed. Carrie was content, tired, and curious. Sam paused his kissing and said, I don't want you to get distracted. I won't. If I'd rather you be distracted, Sam, it looks bad. You said you'd tell me. Okay, where to start? Do you know JJ? He's another one of the bouncers. Big guy with a blonde buzz cut. I can't picture him. He's really loud, jumps around a lot. Shockingly good dancer. Like if I danced as wildly as him, my knee would implode. No bells? Doesn't matter. Anyways, we got in an argument, and he tackled me and punched me in the face. Then I put him in a triangle, and while I was choking him, I elbowed him in the side of the head a bunch of times. Before he went out, though, the other guys broke it up. I've never actually choked someone unconscious before. Sam immediately went back to kissing. My lord, you can't be serious, Carrie remarked in between kisses through puckered lips. Crazy. You are crazy. Carrie pressed her forehead against Sam's. It would be better if some drunk dude sucker punched you out of nowhere. Who said he wasn't drunk? I certainly saw it coming. Why are you laughing? It's really not funny. Sorry, I don't know. It's really not a big deal. We talked it out, had a laugh, and we're cool now, so it's fine. Fine? After we finished cleaning up, we talked it over, and we're cool. Jesus Christ, Sam, another bouncer? What the fuck? Seriously? You could lose your job. Aren't you already on thin ice at the restaurant? What were you possibly fighting about? I don't know. I'm not sure I could explain it in a good way. For a quiet moment, Sam stopped blinking with his eyes fixated at a random point on the ceiling. I don't know. We both can't work for a week, but I doubt he can afford to fire both of us. I wonder if someone got a video, if it went viral. What would the boss do then? I'm telling you, this is another upsetting story. That's too bad, Carrie said, smiling with an edge that infuriated Sam. Tell me anyways. I'd rather not. Sam tried to mount another offensive. He rolled Carrie off of him and onto her back. He kissed her mouth and began kissing lower and lower until Carrie grabbed his hair, stopping Sam dead in his tracks. Sam retreated his head to her naked breasts and lay on his hip waiting for Carrie to ask another question, but when she did not, he felt a compliment was in order. They make splendid pillows. Thanks, Carrie flared in feigned indignation. You're such a child. Thanks. Sam saw a bit of daylight breaking through a gap in enemy lines, and charged once more. This time, the assault was verbal. You look beautiful right now. More than usual. Carrie rolled her eyes. Baby, that's because I'm naked. Well, yeah, that's true. Sam let his hand drift up her long leg. But it's mostly the way the moonlight is hitting you right now. My favorite thing about your place is how the blinds are broken there. So at night the moon shines on you, like a folk singer's pre-war guitar the moment before the singer steps into the spotlight. You can picture it, the faint edge of the spotlight on the natural spruce top. Your skin is practically glowing. Also, I love the way you did your hair up at dinner. I should have told you, but the food came. I heard this song today driving. I love it. I want to play it for you tomorrow. You remind me of the words. Before even taking a moment to think, Carrie quipped, Aren't the words supposed to remind you of me? You know what? I'll have to think about that one. Sam rubbed the side of his head. You think too much. Gently, Carrie ran her fingers along Sam's freshly shut, reddish-purple eyelid. Anyone ever told you that? You. Oh, and also this character Justin I work with, a real ape man, told me that the other week. As his voice drifted off, Sam squeezed his eyes shut to counteract a jolt that seized the right side of his head. What? What? I wasn't thinking too much a few minutes back. Sweetie, you just got punched in the head. Carrie and Sam shared a hearty laugh. I'm sorry, she said, reaching up to kiss his eye. That really isn't funny. You owe me for that one, Sam cried. I demand satisfaction. Pulling Sam's hand out from between the sheets, Carrie said, Greedy, I see. Sam pressed his head down into Carrie's breast and let out a loud yawn. All right, I guess I'll be going to sleep then. Good night. No, Carrie bit down on Sam's ear, and with his ear still in her mouth, she whispered, Stay awake. Tell me exactly what happened, and after. She whispered the next bit so slowly, it was ironic, but to Sam, it was no less exciting despite the irony. You shall be satisfied. With Carrie's mouth close to his ear, and the pain from the bite lingering, Sam was overwhelmed. As the blood rushed from his brain, he used his last bit of focus to say, I told you already. We argued, then we fought. He hit me, and then I hit him. And before I could finish the choke, it got broken up. Our boss yelled at us. Then we apologized, talked it over, and now we're cool. As he finished his rapid-fire synopsis, Sam swung his leg over Carrie. She grabbed his head on both sides, separated her lips, and shook her head. Sam, seriously, you shouldn't feel like I'm judging you, and well, I want you to be honest, to feel like you can talk to me about anything. I can feel something weighing on your mind. I want to help. Sam! She finally exclaimed, caressing his arm after he'd fallen silent a moment. Sam went back to laying on his hip, with his head resting on her breast. What do you mean you can feel something weighing on my mind? Oh, I don't know. Are you talking about No, Sam, not even. You are the only one not enjoying the sex for what it is. It's like you're closing a part of yourself off from me. And I don't know why. Is it something I did? Hesitantly, Sam shook his head. Carrie continued. What is it that you want? You can tell me what's going on in there. Carrie pulled back, lightening the look on her face. Let's start with this. But before she could finish her thought, Sam's tongue burst. Fine. As someone who tries to be reasonably well-informed and aware of their surroundings, I often get the sudden sensation I'm spinning in space. Other times I am bored out of my mind. Nowadays there is little to do. There is hardly a need for conflict. We are virtually entombed, firewalls between us and the divine, and the natural worlds. We are left fighting to find their remnants in ourselves, hence the spinning. Then there is this story I read of a gypsy rebel in the hills of Spain who says it is possible, in the act of true love, tense, in the present, to stop the spinning. Pilar is the gypsy's name. Love so pure it stops the world from spinning. By God, I'd like to believe her. I wouldn't be hard to convince. It seems as fine an aim as any. The effect can work 3 times at most, she says. If I can manage it once. That is what I want. Massaging the muscles at the base of his neck, Carrie looked at Sam all too seriously. But the world never stops spinning. Sam sighed. No, I know. It's a metaphor. He returned to an even, perhaps monotone voice. You still want to know what happened tonight?